back to the Gridiron Expert, here to kick off bowl season. Bowl Mania, the best time of the year. Non-stop football from now until the second week of January with the national championship. And guys, as promised, we are here to predict and analyze every single bowl game on the schedule. From the Myrtle Beach Bowl that'll get things started this Saturday morning all the way to the national championship, we are going to have you covered. So welcome back, guys. We are so glad you could join us today to kick off this bowl season. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our holiday special, which will give you the spread picks for every single bowl game that we predict, as well as the spread picks for every NFL playoff game. Do not miss out on that. Extremely low price. Get you all those picks down at thegridironexpert.com, and check out our ESPN Bowl Pick'em group. We're going to predict these games here on the channel, guys. We would love to have you guys compete against us and hundreds of others of the GE Nation in our ESPN Bowl Mania group. The link for that is down in the description below, and it's free to join. Can't ask for anything better than that. So holiday special, Bowl Mania, check it out, all down in the description. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Let's dive into it. We know these first two bowl videos we're going to do are going to be a cluster of bowls, and there's so many, over 40 of them. We can't do individual videos for all of them. So some of the smaller bowl games we're going to kind of compress into one. So we're going to have that today, and we're going to have that tomorrow. But we'll kick things off with the Myrtle Beach Bowl, the first bowl game on the schedule this season, Georgia Southern against Ohio. This is an interesting game, guys. Georgia Southern at 6-6, Ohio at 9-3. Georgia Southern and Ohio going in different directions. The Eagles losing 4 straight games to end the year. Ohio having won their last 3 games of the year. And what this really is a battle of Georgia Southern's offense. It averages over 420 yards per game, including 298 through the air, against an Ohio defense that ranks 7th against the pass at 164 passing yards per game. But here's the problem. As is the case with many teams this bowl season, there are a lot of people transferring out, a lot of people that are opting out of their bowl games. Ohio will be very short-handed. They're going to be without their quarterback in Curtis Rourke, who has entered the transfer portal. Their backup quarterback, C.J. Harris, who helped them in the postseason last year, will also not be playing. He's been injured for the majority of the year. So their quarterback, more than likely, is going to be Parker Navarro, who has 10 passing attempts on the season. Ohio will also be without their top 2 rushers, Sia Bangura and O'Shawn Allison, who have combined for over 1,200 rushing yards. They'll be without one of their top wide receivers, and Miles Cross, 599 reception yards, and has 1/3, 5 of the 15 reception touchdowns on the team this year. So Ohio's offense is completely depleted. They're going to have to rely heavily on their defense, and I just don't think they're going to have enough to consistently stop Davis Brin and this Georgia Southern passing attack. Georgia Southern's defense isn't all that great either, but they're going to be okay against a third-string quarterback that has very little experience. Give me Georgia Southern to win the Myrtle Beach Bowl and kick off college football bowl season. Jacksonville State and Louisiana. What a story here. Rich Rodriguez deserves a lot of credit. Credit to the Gamecocks. Their first year at the FBS level, they weren't eligible to go bowling, but because there weren't enough bowl-eligible teams, Jacksonville State and James Madison both get to play in the postseason. We're very excited about that. So you've got Jacksonville State, their first year at the FBS level, taking on Louisiana practically in their own backyard in the New Orleans Bowl. And again, start on Jacksonville State. What a job. They're 8-4 this year. Their only losses came to Coastal Carolina, Liberty, South Carolina, and New Mexico State. I mean, those are not bad opponents at all. So 8-4, a very, very good job for them. Louisiana, they kind of are going the opposite direction, 2-4 in their final 6 games. And this is a battle on the ground, a battle in the trenches, right? Jacksonville State is a run-heavy team. They're averaging over 230 rushing yards per game compared to just 166 through the air. Malik Jackson has been phenomenal, 860 yards on the year. Zion Webb, dual-threat quarterback, over 630 yards on the year. They have 5 players, guys, Jacksonville State does, with over 200 rushing yards on the season. So they spread the wealth pretty well on the offensive side of the ball. If you look at Louisiana, they haven't been very good against the run this year. The Ragin' Cajuns have allowed at least 116 rushing yards in every single game except for their season opener against Northwestern State. They're allowing over 160 rushing yards per game. And we know the Cajuns can run too, right? They have an average of nearly 184 rushing yards per game. But I do believe Jacksonville State does own the slight defensive edge. They've allowed just 100 rushing yards once in the last 5 games. Give me Jacksonville State and Rich Rodriguez to come into New Orleans, get their first ever bowl win and clinch a 9-win season, their first season at the FBS level. What a year and what a job well done by the Gamecocks. Cure Bowl, Miami, Ohio. App State, 11-2, Red Hawks, and the 8-4 Mountaineers. This, again, is a phenomenal year for Miami, Ohio. The MAC champions pulling off the upset against Toledo in that championship game. Their only losses this year were to the Miami Hurricanes in their season opener, and then Toledo in the midseason. Got the revenge in the championship game. You know, the Red Hawks, guys, they're not flashy by any means. They're not the sexiest team in bowl season, but they're getting the job done. They're getting the job done. They do it with a strong defense, strong special teams, and just doing the little things right. But Miami, Ohio will be without their quarterback in Avion Smith. Brett Gabbert was injured for the majority of the year. Avion Smith led them to the MAC championship. He's transferring out, so they're going to have to turn to Henry Hessen, who has 5 career passing attempts, 0 this year. 5 attempts in his entire career, has not attempted a single pass this year. Yes, they still have Rashad Amos, has nearly 900 rushing yards on the year. That's great for them. But having a very inexperienced quarterback against an App State team that can score at will is not good. App State is better built for a potential shootout, better built to move the ball down the field. Joey Aguilar is a budding star, over 3,500 yards and 33 touchdowns on the year. Yes, the Mountaineers will be without their star running back in Nate Noel, but this offense has a significant advantage over Miami, Ohio's, and if they can't move the ball consistently, App State's defense is shaky at times. I think can get just enough stops to get Aguilar enough opportunities on the field to wear down that Miami, Ohio defense. So it might not be the best game in the world, might be a little bit more low scoring. It's a shame that a lot of these teams aren't going to be at full strength entering these bowl games, but App State does get the win in the Cure Bowl simply because they do have the better offense and their defense will wreak havoc on Henry Hessen. New Mexico State, Fresno State. I love this one in the New Mexico Bowl, practically a home game for the Aggies. Jerry Kill, man, I love him. I love the guy. I love his story. I love what he's done with New Mexico State. They're searching for their, not only back-to-back bowl wins, they won the Quick Lane Bowl last year, they're searching for their first 11-win season since 1960. The Aggies guys are 10-3 on the year, taking on our 8-4 Fresno State team. And these are two teams, again, I feel like are going in opposite directions here. New Mexico State, the Conference USA runner-up, have played phenomenal football so far this year. Fresno State has really struggled down the stretch this season. So the Aggies have everything to play for in this game, no doubt about it. First 11-win season since 1960, another bowl win after years and years and years of struggles and failures. This is a great opportunity for them going up against a Fresno State team that won't even have their head coach, as their head coach, Jeff Tedford, is stepping aside just for this bowl game due to health reasons. So they're going to be led by Tim Skipper in this game. So again, coaching-wise, I would give the edge to New Mexico State. The Aggies, I give the edge at the quarterback position if Diego Pavia plays. That's going to be a key, too. He injured his elbow in the Conference USA Championship game. We expect him to play in this New Mexico Bowl. If he doesn't, could alter the outcome of this game, certainly. But we expect Pavia to play, and I do think he owns the edge. He's thrown for over 2,500 yards. They've each thrown, Mikey Keene as well for Fresno State is also thrown for over 2,500 yards and 21 touchdowns. But what separates Diego Pavia from Mikey Keene is the rushing ability. Pavia over 850 rushing yards on the day. And the New Mexico State rushing offense, period, is what separates them from the Bulldogs. They can air it out very well, 248 passing yards per game. But they can also run it very well, 210 rushing yards per game. Fresno State is a pass-happy team as it is, really not much of a rushing attack. So while this could be a very, very high-scoring game, give me New Mexico State, a bowl game in their own backyard, a lot to prove, a better offense, and a defense that's going to be hungry to make up for a bad performance against Liberty. New Mexico State does get their first 11-win season since 1960, assuming Diego Pavia does play and start in this game. Famous Toastery Bowl. What the heck is that? We have so many new bowl names and sponsorships. It's weird to me. We got a lot of weird names coming. If you think Famous Toastery Bowl is weird, just wait till we continue to move through bowl season. But we got Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. An intriguing game here. Western Kentucky, I think, really failed to live up to their expectations in 2023, had aspirations to maybe go win the Conference USA, finished just 7-5. Old Dominion, maybe surprising a lot of people, winning a handful of games down the stretch to get to 6-6. Had to win their last 2 games to get to this point. When it comes to opt-outs, I am concerned with Western Kentucky. A lot of starters opting out and transferring out on the offensive line. That includes their first-team Conference USA selection in Quantavious Leslie. But Old Dominion doesn't know how to rush the passer. The Monarchs have just 15 sacks total on the year. Even with a depleted offensive line, I'm not expecting Old Dominion to all of a sudden find their pass rush and make life difficult for Austin Reed. You look at Old Dominion, they're going to be down their number 3 wide receiver in Javon Harvey. They're going to be down their number 3 tackler in their safety in Terry Jones. And you look at Western Kentucky, they own a significant offensive edge. Austin Reed is a phenomenal quarterback, over 3,300 yards and 31 touchdowns on the year. If Malachi Corley does choose to play in this game, an NFL wide receiver prospect, a guy that has nearly 1,000 reception yards and 11 touchdowns, it's going to be very difficult for Old Dominion to stop down that duo as the Monarchs are giving up nearly 240 passing yards per game. I know Old Dominion's been good. They're balanced. Grant Wilson's been great at quarterback. They can run the ball effectively, 150 rushing yards per game, but they're averaging less than 23 points per game on the year. So the offense is efficient, but they're not finding the end zone. Western Kentucky, they know how to find the end zone. Give me the Hilltoppers to win this game. Might be a little bit high scoring because the Hilltoppers don't have a defense whatsoever, but they own the offensive advantage. They own the quarterback edge. They own the speed and size advantage. Western Kentucky gets a win, clinches an 8-win season. And finally, down here, the Frisco Bowl, UTSA and Marshall. 8-4 UTSA, their first year in the American Conference, against a Marshall team that just barely got into bowl season. UTSA, I think, already a winner of this postseason, retaining Jeff Traylor. He was a hot name being bounced around, maybe to go take the Texas A&M job, to take another Power 5 job, wherever that may be, but he stuck around in San Antonio, and they're now searching for their first ever bowl win in program history. They have fallen short each of the last 2 years in the postseason. San Diego State 2 years ago, Troy last year. But luckily, they will break the curse and they will get their first bowl win this year. Not only because I believe they're the better team, but because Marshall's going to be so depleted. Marshall will be without their star quarterback in Cam Fancher. So they're going to have to start Cole Pennington, who's thrown for 437 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions this year. Bit of a concern there. Marshall's also down their starting center in Trent Holler. They're down their number 2 wide receiver in Caleb Coombs. And they could be down Rasheen Ali as well if he chooses to opt out, their star running back. UTSA, they're out to prove something. This group of seniors, these group of guys that have helped make the Roadrunners relevant, they want to get a bowl victory desperately on their resume. So their star quarterback, Frank Harris, star dual-threat quarterback, Frank Harris, is going to make sure that happens. Josh Cephas is going to make sure that happens. Another senior for the Roadrunners. This offense is significantly better. The defense is significantly better. Marshall, with the lack of offensive firepower from the guys transferring out, and an offense that really hasn't been all that great this season anyways, they're going to struggle to move the ball against UTSA. I think the Roadrunners move it at will, and Jeff Traylor finally gets the Roadrunners that elusive bowl victory, and they finish the year at 9-4 in their first season in the American Athletic Conference, and send out those great seniors like Frank Harris, like Josh Cephas, send them out on a high. So there you go, guys. The first 6 games of bowl season, at least from the smaller aspect, we've got them predicted. These are who we're taking here. If you want the spread picks for all these games, the link for that down in the description below through our holiday special on thegridironexpert.com. But let's get ready, guys. We're going to have you covered every step of the way. Non-stop content here from now until the national championship. Bowl Mania is officially upon us, and like we said, it truly is the best time of the year. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at The Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. The holiday special, the Bowl Mania Pick'em group. Go check it out. Go sign up for both of those today. We do not want you to miss out, and do not want you to miss out on becoming a member of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.